I'm here in booth 3368 in the East Building to talk about hardware and software that can improve productivity. And with me is Dave Edstrom of Memex Automation. How are you, Dave?
Doing well. How are you, Whitney?
I'm doing great. So tell us why it's important to measure the data on your machines.
Well, it's interesting. When you look at historically with the plants, if you're to go talk to them and you're to ask the question, what is the utilization that you're doing today? Invariably, people would say, well, 65, 70%. When you actually go measure it, turns out it's more like 32 to 35%. And so we like to refer to it as there's this hidden factory there that they can discover to make their plants more productive and then hence more profitable.
So what is the technology that's enabling that?
Well, one of the big technologies is what AMT funded. This goes back to 2006, and what AMT rolled out in 2008, MT Connect. And they had MT Connect in the Emerging Technology Center in '08. They had it in 10 and 12. And
Tell us, what is MT Connect?
Okay, great question. So what MT Connect is, imagine that you go into a shop and basically is like the United Nations in terms of everyone was speaking a different language. What MT Connect does is it uses the technology of the internet and it makes one common language using XML and HTTP, and there is a data dictionary that tells you what all of these words mean. So I guess in layman's terms, we turn a machine tool or manufacturing equipment into a website. And that means it's very easy to get information by using the MT Connect, which is open source, royalty free, and free to join, free to deploy.
So why aren't people measuring the data now?
Well, the reason that, and we're seeing more and more people that are measuring the data, the reason that more people aren't measuring it, I think is a few reasons, because I think culture is a really big reason. And what I mean by culture is that you have these shops or plants that have done things for the same way for quite some time. You know, my grandfather started, he drove a Cadillac. My dad ran the plant, he drove a Cadillac. I'm driving a Cadillac, why do I need to change? So when you start showing people the data, it goes back to that famous Lord Kelvin quote, which is, if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. So what MT Connect is doing, it's making it easier to connect to get the data, and then you bring it to a dashboard system where you have reports and email alerts and so forth. And when you get the data, you can start looking at it and making the changes to make things more productive and more profitable. The bottom line is, you don't know what you don't know, and MT Connect enables that so that you can get the data very easily and then learn what you need to address.
So one of the issues is a lot of the machines are older. They are not MT Connect enabled. So you have to have hardware to add to the machine in order to read that data. So we're going to go talk to Dave McPhail, who is the president of Memex, so we can learn a little bit more about that. So Dave, tell me about the hardware solution that you're offering.
Okay. Hi, Whitney. Let's take a look at the control for a second. This is a legacy control, typical of what would be installed throughout the world, probably millions of these types of controls and their variants, and they don't speak intelligently. They have no way of speaking intelligent. There's no Ethernet jack. So what we've done is we've created this product here. It's our MT Connect 760 board, and what it does is it takes the data out of the control and actually contextualizes it via Ethernet and speaks MT Connect. Okay. So what that does is that allows this control to speak about a little bit more intelligently about how it can make more production and more profitability for the customer.
And then how do you read that data?
So what we do is we take the data that this produces, we put it into a database, and this is what I call the producer layer, and we have a consumer layer application here that I'd be happy to show you.
Sure, let's take a look.
Okay, so this is our product. We call it Merlin. It's an acronym, Manufacturing Execution Real-Time Lean Information Network. This is basically an availability screen here where we have availability, quality, and performance. We're calculating overall equipment effectiveness. So if I was just to take this machine as an example and say, well, why is this machine only at 43% utilization? I would double click on this one here. I would find that I've collected this many minutes, 360 minutes of downtime or runtime and downtime. I'm running this work order. This person's running the machine. I've made this many parts. So this machine, the device that was connected to this machine can now tell me what's going on the factory floor.
So how long would it take someone to implement this solution?
The implementation is taking a toolkit approach to the market, so it's typically less than 4 hours a machine installed.
Okay, wow. So why is it important for someone to analyze this data? I mean, how is it going to help the customer?
Well, there's a direct correlation between productivity and profitability, and so what this does is show you the current productivity of your shop floor, and where your losses are. And so if you can take those losses and turn them into production time, you'll make more money, you'll make more profit, and ultimately that's what customers are looking for. They're looking for ways to lean out their process and make more profit.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dave, for talking with us.
Thanks very much.
Be sure to stop by the Memex Automation booth in the East Building, 3368.